Hey guys, just playing a little bit of Frontier here with my blue-red Sphinx's Tutelage. Let's check out the opener. A little heavy on the lands, but I'll keep it. And hopefully we can use Jace's Rin's Prodigy or Tormenting Voice to discard what we don't need. Okay, they're going to start with a Jadi Offshoot. So not exactly sure what they're on. I'm going to go ahead and play a tapped Wandering Fumarole past the turn. And again, we have a fair amount of lands, but we also have many ways to discard it with Jace and Tormenting Voice. Alright, we're going to go for offshoot number 2. I guess they'll be gaining a fair amount of life off of the Bloodstained Mires fetches any lands. I'm going to untap, get a Lightning Axe, and I'll just go ahead and play Spire Bluff Canal into Jace's Rin's Prodigy. And they're just black-green, so I really have no way of knowing what they're doing. Gonna tap 3 mana, maybe they're gonna get Nissa out or something. Read the Bones. Scry 2, then draw 2. And the Lightning Axe, not worth it in my opinion to kill one of the offshoots. Maybe, I don't know, if they have something with bigger toughness, obviously, but I'm going to go ahead and start by tapping Jace. We're going to draw a Fiery Temper. And since I don't see us playing anything else, I'm just going to tap and discard a Fiery Temper and hit one of the offshoots. And then I'll probably just play the actually maybe I'll play Mountain and then Tormenting Voice. Discarding an island. Draw 2, find a Magmatic Insight and a Shivan Reef. So next turn I'm gonna, hopefully if the Jace lives, I'll play Magmatic Insight and then I'll be able to flip Jace. Okay, so they're gonna play a Staff of the Wild Magus. Whenever they cast a green spell or a force enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. So I am pretty unsure as to what's going on, because Staff of the Wild Magus isn't like a particularly commonly found card, but they have to be up to something. I'll draw a Treasure Cruise, so I'm gonna do what I said before. I'll start by playing Magmatic Insight, discarding a Shivan Reef. Draw 2. Okay, so I found Sphinx's Tutelage. Then I'm going to play a Mountain. Play Sphinx's Tutelage. And then loot. So that'll flip Jace. And get a Tutelage trigger. Draw. I'll discard the Fumarole. And then I'll +1 Jace. Alright. Potentially I can mill them out here, but it's still a long ways off. I have the Treasure Cruises though and the Tormenting Voice, so it could definitely happen. Okay, so untap, draw a trigger, and then I'm going to play a Tormenting Voice, discarding a Mountain. Okay, so I have a negate, which is pretty good. I'm gonna +1 Jace. And that won't do anything, and then I'm gonna hold up the negate just to kind of be conservative. I'm not sure what they're trying to do, but they could do something pretty damaging potentially. And I have 8 points of burn if they cast something that I need to kill with a lightning axe. Instead, they're going to choose to read the bones. So I'm kind of nervous about what they're trying to set up. Let's check out what's in the grave. So nothing really overly telling outside of a retreat to Hagra. But the life gain is unlikely to matter too much, because at this point in time I'm just going to go for a mill win. And that can approach sooner than you'd think, because I have the Tormenting Voice as well as 2 Treasure Cruise. Okay, so they're going to play a Retreat to Kazandu. Alright, so I'll untap. I'm not going to negate that. Got a draw. Magmatic Insight. I'm going to start by playing Tormenting Voice, discarding a Fiery Temper. That'll draw me a land, which is good. And then I will... I'm gonna play the island, I think. And then Fiery Temper his... See, I just don't want it to get too big from Retreat to Kazandu, so I'm actually going to Fiery Temper his Retreat to Kazandu. I mean, his Jadi offshoot. Oh, wrong one. And then I'll +1 Jace. Pass the turn, and I'll have negate up. Again, in case they play something super threatening. They have Splendid Reclamation, and then they also had Al-Hamrat's Archive. But I, again, do not see what their ultimate win con is. Maybe we'll find out. Okay, it's Oblivion Sower. Nice. So just as I was mentioning that I wanted 8 points of burn, now I no longer have that. So I will exile top 4. Okay, so looking to get rid of the Oblivion Sower, and I can actually do that with the Jace Telepath Unbound, flashback plus a lightning axe, but it's going to use up some resources that I wouldn't normally want to spend. So how am I going to go about doing that? So I will -3. That's a -3 targeting fiery impulse. Yep. And then cast a lightning axe, discarding magmatic insight. That's a good turn of events. And then I'll follow it up with I could cruise, but I'm just gonna Monastery Siege for now. On cons, of course, so that I can get the extra draws. And they're at 27 cards in their library. I think Oblivion... Oh, I did not realize what those counters were for. Crap. Oh man, that's a big bummer. I would have preferred, I mean, obviously looking back I know what it means, but I was wondering why they were putting counters on. Should have, so I really used up a lot of my resources trying to kill that. Too bad. Would have seen that on Magic Online. Crap. Let's see, is that the game right there? And then I could have negated that even. Totally missed out on that sequence. We'll go to game 2. Yeah, so it wouldn't have made a difference in the end. Bummer. Cool though, very cool. I think I like, in this case, what I really like, I'm gonna bring out most of the spot removal. Bring out Chandra, and instead I'll bring in the thing in the ice is, as well as the Bedlam Revelers, and I'll bring out a Fiery Impulse. That looks pretty good to me. Yeah. This is a keep. So again, a real bummer last game, but it's a cool deck. We don't really play too many creatures, so he was able to take advantage of that nicely. And I'll Thing in the Ice on turn 2. hopefully Sphinx's Tutelage on turn 3. And then try to do my thing. Thing in the ice. And that can let me flip an Oblivion Sower at instant speed. But I'm kind of relieved that what I did last game actually would not have really made a difference there. Sphinx's Tutelage coming down. Alright, so they're going to play Jaddy Offshoot. I'm going to play an island and then another Tutelage, I think, before I play the next Monastery Siege. Actually, I'll play Monastery Siege, because I don't want to get back to natured. That would just be a disaster. Could happen, but it's good to just play a little bit around it. I think back to nature, it's a 2 mana green enchantment, destroy all enchantments. It would hurt them a little bit, but it would hurt me a lot more. So, and then I get the extra draw. I'm going to discard the Spirebluff Canal. I'm just going to make sure that they mill another 2, but then Spirebluff Canal plus Island. Pass the turn. And soon, next turn, I can actually start activating the Sphinx's Tutelage. 5 mana, draw and discard. So that can fuel a cruise. And the Monastery Siege is also getting ready for some cruises. Alright, retreat to Hagra. So that can also be a big swing. Draw 2. So we have a Reveler, which is pretty good. I'm gonna... Here, I think I'll discard... Maybe the... I don't know. I think I'll try to I'll discard Lightning Axe. Play a Shivan Reef and pass the turn, I think. Or maybe I'll just Treasure Cruise. Actually, I think I'm going to Treasure Cruise. Draw 3. Take a counter off of Thing in the Ice. Ooh, so they're gonna mill Gitrog monster. And they actually have to, yeah, perfect. So they milled the second time. Wonderful. But here I think I would, if they can kind of do the combo thing, I would make them go through it because, let's see, they have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 lands in their graveyard. At this point, I'm just hoping to find that negate. Untap, draw 2. And then I'll discard a Reveler. Drop to 18. I think I'm gonna play a Tutelage, a second one, as well as another Jace. And unfortunately, I'm going to be very vulnerable to a Reclamation. And in hindsight, it might have been better to have boarded out the Sphinx's Tutelages, but I'm kind of committed to that plan, and if they don't win on this turn, I think I'll have them next turn by playing a combination of Collective Defiance, discard like a lot, I'll draw 2. Yeah, I'll win next turn if they don't win this turn. If they win this turn, obviously they win. Some great commentary there. Okay, so I think I have them. So they'll mill 8. I'll just discard a thing in the ice, and then discard and draw. I think would be a good game. So that's awesome. So we'll go to game 3. And I think I'm actually going to board out this Tutelages. And it may not be the right play, but I was just thinking about it, like, basically I think he could have just won there. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. So I'll board out the Tutelages and instead bring in Chandra's. I have a Rise from the Tides. And I need one more card, so I'll go with, I think a Fiery Temper is good. This is a keep. Not that good of a keep, but it's fine. I have Thing in the Ice, Negate to cause problems, and then a Fiery Temper. And I'll lead with Wandering Fumarole. So just totally on the damage plan this game. So here I think I'm gonna Tormenting Voice, discarding a Fiery Temper to hit them for hit them for 3, draw 2 cards, and get the thing in the ice down to 2. So I drew a Reveler and a Magmatic Insight, both of which are good draws. I can play the Magmatic Insight, probably draw something, and then start attacking with Thing in the Ice, and then back it up with Reveler if I have enough things in the grave. So I'm going to draw, I'm going to go ahead and, I guess I could negate my own, I don't know if it's the right play, but he didn't seem to have too much removal. No, I don't think I'm going to do that. I'll just Magmatic Insight, draw 2. Alright, 2 Lightning Axes. So it'll go to 1. I guess I could Lightning Axe it. I'm pretty hesitant to do that, though. I'll just play the Shriven Reef and hope to counter something important next turn. Not really too important, but Jotty Offshoot. Oh, I could have actually... a little late. I wasn't really thinking, but I'll just do it now. I'm gonna Lightning Axe the Jotty Offshoot, and I will discard. I have 1, 2, 3 instants in the graveyard. 4 and 5 would let me cast the Bedlam Reveler, so I'm actually gonna discard another Lightning Axe. And in response, I was worried for a sec. It looks like they're just going to sack the Windswept Heaths. I'll swing for 7. Each instant and sorcery, I have 5 in the grave, so it'll cost 1 red. And I'll discard my hand, then draw 3 cards. Nothing spectacular, but unless they have something that I don't see, it should be a win here. So they're going to play a Retreat to Kazandu, and they'll probably gain a fair amount of life. So actually they could have some pretty notable resistance to a damage plan, but next turn I can actually attack with Ephemeral. So I think I'm 1 damage short of winning. I can play another Thing in the Ice, so I'm going to swing 10, and then I'll play a tapped Spire Bluff Canal and play a Jace Vryn's Prodigy. And that would be helpful because next turn I can tap it, flip it, and then cast some type of spell to trigger prowess, or in case they gain a fair amount of life this turn. But I think I may be able to do it. Don't want to get overly confident. Okay, so like Oblivion Sower, not bad at all. I'll exile the top 4. Let's see how it looks. Okay. I'll let them make clones of them. And this time, hopefully, I'll understand what the Oblivion Sower actually has happened when they get the +1/+1 counters. But thankfully, I can actually just block with Jace Vryn's Prodigy. The draw is a negate. Okay, so they actually used it to go up on life. I'm just gonna think for a little bit. They have no ways of getting. They can't. If they block with Oblivion Sower, then I can kill it after Jace activation. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, because these will bounce off of each other. I'm just gonna swing for 7. So that's the only attacker. Gonna leave 2 creatures back to block. Okay, so they went with the smarter play. And then I'm going to play the island. So I potentially have up to, so I have a negate to counter I'm going to negate the Splendid Reclamation. They may have something to back it up. Alright, so good games.